Hey, this is another one of my crazy warm-ups before I go spar. What I do is I just get out there, flex, do a lot of the motions. I go through every single last pose that I have. I go through the core principles of the Jeet Kune Do. I also expand on the Western boxing. I really concentrate on the lower kicks, to be honest with you. Anything to the midsection or above is the concentration. There's no right or wrong. I don't try to expand. I don't try to get too flexible. I just let it come natural. I kick the heavy bag. The black and yellow bag is one that I made out of military rubber. It's actually really, really heavy. It's like probably 400 pounds, I'd say. The other one's just an Everlast solid bag. I use that for everything pretty much. The standing bags, I'll use those on occasion. And then I really just try to hit the Jeet Kune Do bag or Taekwondo bag, you may say. I don't have it in this video. Work on the straight kicks, forms, which are kind of boring, but you have to learn those in order to grasp the concepts and then to get your natural flow together. A couple weeks ago, I built an actual Wing Chun dummy. I've been using the ones that I've put on the wall for the last probably year and a half to 2 years. I've got 4 of them total. This is the first actual dummy that I built. It just gives me some different dynamics, a little bit of a universal pattern that I can flow to. It lets me practice all the sows. Basically, the wind sow is my most important one that I've just recently learned how to name, I guess you could say. And it's just the protecting hand. You bring it into your chest. It's always going to be just a little bit higher than the other hand. That way I can move. I try to do all the different poses without really concentrating on what exactly they are. So it'll flow. In the beginning, when I first started doing Wing Chun, I tried my hardest to basically learn each and every last pose and go slow. Now I've just got the poses, they're already in there. All the forms and shapes are there. My grasping is a lot better. The hands are faster, and then I'm ready to just block and strike at the same time, just depending on what the opponent gives me. Warming up with the Wing Chun dummy just gives me a lot of flexibility. It gives me a base onto my style. It allows me to strike 100% effectiveness basically at any given time from any angle. It also warms up my quadriceps, hamstrings, and then just allows me to get going. I do a lot of different forms on this dummy. I've set up one even actually on a heavy bag. And then once again, I'll just get in, I'll grab some weights. I'll do anything from bench presses, sets of 15 to 20 on 135. I'll take, curls, tricep presses. I'll do shrugs, Roman deadlifts. I'll do anything and everything to get warmed up, just whatever my body feels like it needs. I also do the horse pose. I'll do it for 3 to 5 minutes, 4 or 5 times, just to see how my mind is, and so I can concentrate. Try to get into the zen, if you want to call it that, just into that state where really I'm relaxed but focused, and then I'm intense, yet basically in a position right there where I can just strike, block, and then go in through the natural poses without actually forcing it. So everything I do to get warmed up is just exactly that. It's just a warm-up. I really enjoy the warm-ups in the beginning because it let me go to the dojo and just relax. I don't have to worry about feeling stiff or going through their warm-up routines and going 100%. I don't have to worry about breaking a sweat, pulling a muscle, getting cramped. I've already gone there, I've been there, and I'm just ready to go. At this particular point, what I'll do is really when I get there, I just relax, talk to people, socialize, break the ice, and then prepare. It just depends on who it is. If it's a younger guy, an older guy, or even the sensei that I'll spar against, it really doesn't matter. A couple of weeks ago, I actually used my grips. I wrapped real tight, and then we did a super long warm-up, and then during that warm-up my wraps actually slipped off, so I cut both of my right and my left hand knuckles pretty bad. I've taken about a week or a week and a half without actually striking a bag, but they're pretty much healed at this particular point. I just don't want to make that a routine, so I really try to wrap. Here's one of my classics, and basically what I do is I actually move, going into what some would say a popping or breakdancing form. I do it for several reasons. One is because these forms really let the flow go. You're going to feel the energy from one part of your body to another. It allows me to really expand the joints, all the muscles, and then really just get loose. When I'm loose, I'm comfortable. When I'm comfortable, I'm ready to go. I can basically explode or expand. I can contract. I can do whatever I need to do to protect myself, protect others, and just really get into that state again where, I'm lethal, not only to myself, but to anybody else who's standing in front of me. I feel confident. It actually gives me a chance to break a good sweat, loosen up ankles, knees, hamstrings, hips, spine, back, arms, shoulders, all the way up through to the neck. So really, it looks kind of crazy, but it is what it is. It's just a good, solid workout. If you can look at this realistically, the muscles that I use in the legs, like on this drill, basically I'm just fanning my knees, getting all the ligaments loose. I'll circle, I'll torque the ankles in several different directions. I'll stand there and balance on one leg. I don't really concentrate on my hands or my form at this particular point. It's just a natural warm-up. And then I use this to practice all the kicks. I'll start out low, right around like midsection, and then I'll go to basically the high chest level, and then I'll start striking the head. But with the head, you are using a tremendous amount of energy. So what I don't want to do is get tuckered out, tired, possibly even winded before I go out to the gym. I want to save that for when I need it. With that said, that's the last phase of any warm-up that I do is actually going through high kicks of any nature, even spinning kicks. If I'm not loose, I'm really, really stiff because I am older now. When I was younger, I could just jump out there, go for it, especially when I was boxing. I could just, throw hands at any given time. When I was a kid, I did Golden Gloves. I boxed at the boys club, et cetera, et cetera. I fought in the street, didn't want to. It wasn't by choice. I grew up in an all-black neighborhood where I was the whitest kid in the neighborhood. As a light-skinned black man, everybody's black in the family, mom, dad, grandpa's grandpa, all the way down. But that's just my nationality is African American. But in reality, I did move to an all-white area where I was the blackest person that anyone had seen. So as you can imagine, I got into several fights. I didn't use martial arts at that particular time. I watched kung fu movies and really liked Bruce Lee and all that stuff, but I never studied it. I didn't really get into it. I took a few karate classes as a kid, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, upwards of 10 possibly, but I don't really remember those classes. I don't remember any of the principles, language, et cetera, et cetera. I just concentrate on what I believe is the best style, which is Jeet Kune Do. Gives you a chance to draw from everything good from each one of the styles, whether it's Tai Chi, which I really like too for therapeutic and meditation purposes, stretching. I really enjoy the fundamentals of working out when it comes down to Taekwondo kicks. The chambers are nice. They're fast kicks, very powerful and unique to the sport of martial arts, even if it's MMA. I also like a karate roundhouse kick. To me, it looks the best. It is a very long kick. It's going to take a while to get there, and so nevertheless, if you throw that kick, just be prepared that somebody's going to read that and maybe do something with it. I've also liked the Muay Thai roundhouse kicks. It has a lot of power. It's very quick. You're really kicking and landing with the shin. So when you do that, you really have to do some bone density training with the shins. I haven't done that lately. To me, it beat up my shins pretty bad and left me bruised. And so it wasn't really fundamentally as advantageous for me to continue on that journey. I do use the bone density training for the hands and also for the forearms, and then sometimes even the ribs area, because I've been kicked and likely had a couple of fractured ribs at certain points. I never really got anything looked at, but I just kind of took it maybe on the chin, I guess you could say. Right now I'm doing some dead hangs. I've really incorporated those lately, and along with the inversion table. Basically it allows me to loosen my hips up. I can do all types of different poses on it. I built myself up from basically being able to hang maybe 100 seconds on a challenge to 3 to 5 minutes. It just depends on my mood. But that's it. Crazy warm-ups. All right. And 2023, you guys get it done.